afternoon, once again live from Munich, live to India. I have with me Anamol from Valueline, our valued partner.
Hello.
I'll let him do the introductions first and then we'll take a look at the booth.
So I'm Anmol Anand from Valueline, and over the last 2 decades we've been curating luxurious lifestyles for homes in India. And this strive has brought us to identify really sensational and really luxurious products. Nowadays homes have become an extension, a piece of art, the extension of the owner's personalities. And with the overwhelming number of brands that claim to be luxurious, it can get a little bit confusing. But with our experience, we have identified something truly sensational today. And here we are at Keller. So for the very first time in India, Valueline is bringing Keller systems to revolutionize how we look at our homes from the inside and outside through their windows. So let's have a look.
Let's have a look. We'll outside looking in, crowded booth, but sometimes the entrance says a lot about the people living there.
Definitely, it does.
We have designed this beautiful door, which is completely integrated or might be integrated in your facade. This being a pivot door, the LED strips just providing with some additional security or a nice add-on. But walking in, we have a 5-point locking mechanism, magnetic sealers. They actually pop up from the bottom when the door is closed. And the same happens on top, so that seals off perfectly against wind and water. Come on in. This one being 4 meter high.
I'd like to mention something about the bottom pivot.
Yep.
I think this design and this functionality is quite revolutionary, because we see a lot of issues when people say that, you know, we need something with a clean threshold, nothing at the bottom. But then how do you seal it? How does it, protect? So this, I think, solves that purpose very well.
This is a combination of two things. We will look into our minimal window 4+ freeway. This is the same profile, so we are actually flush. There is no barrier from the inside to the outside. And as you pointed out, to make sure that, and I try to demonstrate it, in the profiles, in the door, bottom and top, there's magnets. And these strips react to the magnet. And when a door is closed, these are pulled out. They pull them up and they seal off perfectly.
Lovely.
We achieve, I think, 600 Pascal resistance up to 600 Pascal on driving rain and wind pressure.
Fantastic.
The same profiles are used in a minimal window 4+ slider. Here as well, freeway, so barrier free inside out. And between the two sliding rails, in this case, we have put an LED strip. That can be the same floor finish. It can be wood from the inside through the sliding rail to the outside, or in this case, stone cladding.
Lovely. And I also think that nowadays, because lighting is such an interesting concept, and a lot of architects and new homes that are being built pay a lot of attention to lighting. And integrating lighting into a fenestration system is something that we have never seen before. So I think this is going to be a really standout.
We had this kind of reaction from a lot of not architects but designers.
Yeah, exactly.
People into the interior design now see an opportunity to have indirect lighting in the floor integrated, ceiling or on the mullions. And if you start playing with light and light intensity, you can create your own cozy indoor atmosphere. An additional, which we did not actually perceive when we did this, is that if you would have it on your inside mullion in the evening and you would light your LEDs, you cannot glare from the outside in.
Okay.
A benefit we didn't even think of, but a designer pointed us out to that. Very sorry about that. Now let's continue.
Yep.
So, sliding window. These we do up to 4.5 meters high. We cater for 12 square meters of glass. In a sliding panel, we can go up higher, but then it depends wind loads. On the existing system, we have standard 26 millimeter mullion facing width. In this specific event, we have the 34 millimeter in to show the difference, but this is what we would use if we have very high wind loads. Wind load calculation, glass stability, we would put 32 millimeter mullion. And if needed, extend the mullion to the inside and then have stainless steel or steel inserts. Integrated pivot into your sliding fixed window combination. Same principle. Magnetized so they come up. But this provides you maximum views, access to your terrace or garden, and seals off perfectly.
And I also believe that we can have a combination where we can have a pivot with a sliding
Yep.
together.
We would be using the same interlock. So this can be a sliding. So once you have opened up your pivot door, this can actually slide.
Lovely.
We can combine two pivots. We can make combinations pivot slider, pivot again. So these are arrangements that we can cater for. This all in the existing 4 Plus series, where we still have 2 sliding rails, 2 rollers. Now let's get to the completely newly developed system, and we call that next generation slider. There's
Lovely.
a couple of reasons why. One is that we believe at Keller what we do today is for future generations to come, quality wise, and we started paying additional attention to carbon footprint, recyclability. The profiles we use now and the extrusion process allows for 30% less carbon footprint compared to the existing system. So
Okay.
we contribute to a better planet and durability
Of
as well.
course.
One thing that is immediately obvious is that there is no profiles at the bottom.
Okay.
So here you get actually 98% transparency, only glass. The only profile I have here is the mullion, which is always 26 millimeters in this case.
26.
On this specific one, we've integrated flush floor, also in the wall, which means that we don't have the handlebar. Now to be able to open and close this, soft open close system, push on the button, and the slider comes out in 2 steps, after which you can slide it by hand.
Annually.
Closing goes the same. Once the lights start flashing, you've reached its point. Safety
Okay.
precaution, now you have to keep pushing when the closing is in progress to prevent from hands, feet, whatever. So you push and it slides back into the wall cavity.
And
again,
completely flushed.
you're completely flushed in the wall, floor, ceiling. These we do up to 6 meter height, maximum 1,500 kilos in a sliding sash. And through the series is S4, 5, 6, and 7. Always one single sliding rail integrated into the isolator. We'll get a detail on that later.
Of course.
One single roller, but we cater for up to 44 millimeters of glass, 54, 64, and 74 millimeters.
And the interlock remains the same even when we go 6
Interlock
meters.
will always be 26 millimeters.
Irrespective
Again,
of
with
height.
higher wind loads, we might extend them to the
Of course,
inside
you can
and then
extend them,
again
yeah.
have these stainless steel inserts. Another thing we've been working on successfully the past couple of years, so
Yep.
same setup, this one manual with the manual handlebar, but we have integrated a insect screen
Mosquito nets, okay.
which goes up the full 4 meters and is extractable.
And the entire roll goes into the walls during the construction
When you
phase.
don't need it, it goes back in the wall, or I do it manually or in combination with my
With
sliding
the
window.
sliding, okay.
So it goes back in the wall and it stays there.
So based on the usage, we can operate
You
it.
can
when we require.
operate it time after time again. It is also incorporated in the bottom and in the top, so even at higher wind loads, this stays stable. And I would say if wind loads get even higher, people tend to close their windows.
Correct. Yeah, fair enough.
This is what we would call view.
Yep.
And what we now have behind you is actually the new floor system.
Okay.
Still barrier free to the outside. I will show you that detail later on as well, but
Yep.
the width of this sash does not change when the glass gets thicker. So we
Okay.
always keep the same width. Here we have it on a top slider, telescopic drive, which means when I push, both sliding sashes move at the
Move
same time.
together.
That can be repeated 3 or 4. And since it's a top slider system, we can actually drive or motorize every single leaf.
Okay. And you said you can have 4 shutters as well.
We can have 4 sliders. Standard tracks, we go up to 4 tracks. And then we can put in additional tracks.
Okay, lovely.
All up to 6 meters high. And in this case, we use step glass, which means that what you see at the bottom, the glass continues to the bottom all the way up. So there's no aluminum profile visible.
No profiles
Indeed.
visible. And I also understand that the movement has been built such a way that all doors close together simultaneously
Yeah,
with the
this
telescopic.
is the telescopic drive. We can come to full close, but then I'll have to ask India to come inside, because otherwise we lock them outside, which would be. So if we close completely, all the sashes close at the same time.
At the same time.
And the engines are now completely built into the outer frame.
Got it.
And
And can we also have this system integrated with automation nowadays?
what we do here on both systems is what we call deadman operated. That is just for safety reasons.
Okay.
These can be integrated into any smart home solution you might have. We will find the interface. What is very important to point it out is that in case you go fully automated, that you will need to put in sensors and radars.
For safety.
Sensors and radars for safety. The sensor will measure if there's something within the trajectory of opening, and the radar will whether there would be something which might block the motion. Tricky part is that you need them on the inside and on the outside.
Got
That's
it.
something that we leave up to clients to decide, but please, in any case, if you ask for deadman, you will receive deadman. Do not try for yourself to turn deadman
Of course,
into automated. You will run in problems.
This solution is rather better because it takes care of the whole safety issues, and operational wise it's more functional, let's say.
In this case, you are responsible for your
Yeah,
safety
exactly.
and the safety of anybody in your lovely family. When you
Got it.
leave it to automatically operate it, with all due respect, a push on a smartphone, this thing would open or close, but nobody's watching whether there's small child playing,
Yeah.
whether something is blocking. And decision everybody has to take for himself, how far you want to go. Now let's
Fair
take a look into the golden cube.
This is the
Where-
exclusive cube, I believe.
Exclusive, yes, on invitation only for our very VIPs,
So
but where I can actually show you some of the latest designs that we have been developing.
yes.
We have, gentlemen, allow me please, sorry, thank you. We have now the locks that we've seen, the levers, in different finishes. Stainless steel, brass, Corten steel. This one that actually shows the mechanics behind the closing. And a rectangular or square solution. We continue this through the junction profiles, a granodal finish, anodized, Corten steel, full laminated wood. This is real wood veneer,
Real wood.
the integrated LED strips, and with glass.
So we can have the interlock profiles with glass also.
You could have the junction profile in glass.
Okay.
Tricky part would be that you cannot put a lock in here.
Of course.
So this would
Yep.
only function with the soft open close or fully motorized. Quick on NGS as a system, we always use the same profiles. So these profiles do not change through the series. What changes is the insulator bar, which has the sliding rail on it, and the rollers. This is 74. We add and we get to S5. Now we can
Yep.
cope for 54 millimeters of glass. The thing that changes is the isolator bar.
Okay.
So it
Yep,
gets
got it.
wider to cater for the glass. If we look into the floor solution, this space stays the same. So regardless the width of the glass,
Bottom frame
pressure-
remains the
yeah,
same.
the
Yeah.
bottom frame remains the same, which then provides you with the fact that this stays for, I want to put it, barrier free to get outside. And we have made sure that the distance between the sliding rail and the finished floor is 8 millimeters,
Okay.
which complies to the American norms, which allows you half an inch. Half an inch would be 12. We only have 9, so we comply.
Okay.
Solution with step glass, so it's only glass visible.
The same one we had seen
Yeah,
previously.
that was the one motorized. Or where we use actually profile line, a small profile is visible. Another thing we have been developing is that we now have a locking mechanism which is flush in the profile. Push on the button, lever comes out, open,
turn.
close.
Fantastic.
In the next generation, we use a stainless steel rod instead of aluminum. And by using the stainless steel, we achieve RC3 certification. Also available with a locking
With a
system,
locking
so with a
mechanism.
key. When it's locked, key locked, then it doesn't pop out. Now it's open, so it pops and can be used. And if you just lock it, stays closed. On the inside, of course,
Yep.
but would help young families with little children locked. Child will not be able to open the window.
Correct. That's an additional added level of safety as well. I believe.
You might consider additional level of safety, but it will not prevent anybody from trying to get inside your house.
Yeah.
It's more a safety that people inside, children, whatever, cannot go out when you don't want them to. One thing I still need to mention is that the drainage system on the NGS
Yes.
has completely changed. We
Okay.
used to have in the existing system a PVC drainage. We got rid of the PVC, environmental reasons among others, and in addition we made a system in which there is collectors built into the sliding profiles. The collector is attached to tubes. The tube goes through the entire profile to the outside, and we have valves. High winds, the valve is closed.
Closed. Okay.
Water pressure too high, the valve opens and the water evacuates. And then as seen on the top slider, in this case top slider smart drive, integrated completely in the Keller minimal window top frame, and we need 30 millimeters on top for the pulleys, the crocodile locker and the engines itself. And on the smart drive, where we have a separate housing that is next to the slider. So in this case the slider is next to the engine, and in the other case the slider is underneath the engine.
So this would be the top profile, and then additionally we need only 30 millimeters.
Yeah. So this is what we had on the
Fantastic.
motorized we saw before.
Yep.
The entire motorization, so motors, timing belts are in the Keller profile. The only thing we need is 30 millimeters on top to allow for the mechanics to function.
I think one question we get a lot, especially from architects, is that sometimes people were afraid to go for a motorized because they needed so much space. They had to occupy a lot of wall
Yep.
space on the ceilings for the motors. They were too bulky. 30 millimeters is nothing.
Even in the standard system, the entire system is 80 in the width, 100. So 80 by 100 millimeters, which
Barely
fits in
anything.
your frame, which is hidden in your ceiling.
In the ceiling.
And with the top drive, it is completely in the frame and just 30 millimeters on top, which makes it very slim.
Very
It
minimalistic.
provides you also the possibility that when something would happen, you just need to move your slider. You can always unlock.
Yep.
So you can take him off your automated system. You can move your panel, and you have access to your timing belts, your engines, and your driving
Oh,
system.
so then the ceiling does not have to be touched with it.
In this case, the ceiling does not have to be touched. Even in this case, there where your CPU is, your engine drive is, there would be a covering. Well, we actually
Yep.
cut it out
Yeah,
here.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take it always off, so you have access to.
It's easy
And-
to
and-
maintain.
And anything else, if something happens, you move the panel and you have access to your driving belt. So it's easy
Fantastic.
to maintain, and these have been built to last. Again, next generation, it's not just for today, it's for
It's for the
generations
next
to come.
generations.
Yeah, indeed.
Lovely.
If you would have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Definitely. No, I think you've explained it perfectly.
Thank you.
We've understood a lot, and I think, as I said in the beginning, so some of these solutions, especially let's say the motorized, whether it be the pivot, these are something that we have not seen before. It's something very unique, and it solves a specific purpose. That's what's important.
It is.
And I
It is.
believe that people have been looking for solving this purpose from a long time, but never found a solution. And now we have something.
So we'll be happy. I
Tried
think
and
that I
tested.
think that we're going to be introducing maximum views through Valueline in India. We look
Definitely
forward
we
to
will
it.
do.
And as you put it, I think that we have solutions for
Yes.
meeting the criteria you have, and we'll look
Exactly.
forward in finding solution design. So thank you for
Definitely.
being here. I know
Thank
it's
you
a long
for-
travel,
Yeah.
and I'll be coming to see you soon. So I'm
Yes,
going to
the
have a
next
long
time.
travel as well, but I look forward to it.
Both ways.
Thank you very much. Keep watching. We'll be live again later on.
Lovely.
Animal, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your
Let's
time.
grab a cup
Lovely.
of coffee or a glass of wine,
For
what you
sure.
wish, and see you soon.
See you.
Thanks.
Thank you.